Just a couple of silly friends talking about serious stuff.
Hello, welcome, twinsies.
'Tis the season. Spring just will not come. It is still cold. -6 today. For all you for all you imperial people using, I don't know what's -6. I don't know, about 20-ish probably. It's cold.
Okay,
It's cold.
yeah, it's like in the 70s here. Sunny. Anyway,
Anyway,
welcome, welcome to Not What I Was Expecting. Two friends react to crazy ex-girlfriend. I'm Enough.
and I'm Ed.
Yay! Woo! We have had quite a season already with this show. There is
My
so
God.
much.
Oh, it's been wild dealing. I mean, geez, good grief! What we're dealing with. We've been dealing with alcoholism, um, unexpected pregnancy, both negative and positive tests in that regard. Major life changes from multiple characters. Um, Both Josh and Rebecca, trying to set up boundaries, and good for them, but still see a therapist. And
Yeah.
yeah, when we left off, Greg was finally seemed to be getting his stuff together and heading off to school. And Rebecca is running right after him.
Yeah, like
Oh,
literally the image on the screen right now is her in mid motion running.
I say we just hop right in.
Let's go. All right, let's get into season 2, episode 4. When will Josh and his friend leave me alone?
I guess we'll find out.
Me seeing you on that bridge, that was a sign that we should be together.
Ugh, signs.
That's not how life works. Life doesn't happen to you. You make decisions. You and I have had some great moments together.
The piano in the background feels kind of out of place for the show, but I think that's sort of the point. You know what I mean? It feels like it's like sort of a sappy rom-com.
Yeah.
And the dialogue too.
Of course, I love you.
I love you, yes.
More Greg songs always makes me happy.
Yeah, he's so great.
I can't believe what I'm sacrificing was not just bad, it was a show. We can't unscrew each other's friends.
Ah, I love his voice. I want to sing this song.
This was a show. Chernobyl next to us looks like a campfire.
Oh my God.
Oh, what the hell? Let's get a hotel.
No! No! Greg, no! No! Greg.
What happens next? I mean, in the long run, not just fatigue and hunger. That's exactly when I should split, though. This beautiful, heart-stopping, breathtaking, life-changing.
Yay, Greg!
Yes! Keep going, Greg. Keep going. Keep going. You're almost there. He went into the light.
Yeah, I was noticing that too. Very symbolic.
Yeah, not subtle. Yes, Greg. Yes. Yes. For now, I have no idea what the show's going to bring, but at least for now, yes. I love that song because he's got a phenomenal voice, and that song is so suited for him.
Yes. So he wanted a Frank Sinatra song. So
Paula got her Disney song, Disney princess song. He's got his Frank Sinatra. Oh, it was, and I actually liked the fact that it was very simple. He just sang, because like that was literally like one of Craig's biggest character moments. So it allowed the combination of the music, his voice, and the wonderful, wonderful shit show lyrics to speak for themselves. It wasn't a big, elaborate number. And I think that's something sometimes people, when putting together a performance, like on stage or movies or directors, whatever, they sometimes miss the fact that when it comes to a musical, sometimes the song is what carries it. Like, let the singer carry the moment and the emotion, because that's the point. Like, one thing I think that was missed in the Les Mis movie was they tried so hard to make everything this massive production and look at my acting. I'm acting. And like, I get it. You're all very talented. You're all phenomenal actors, but let the music do its work. You just sound great because the music is carrying all the emotion. And I feel like that was done beautifully here, between the way they just let him sing and the way it was just focusing on their two reactions and their faces, rather than trying to make it into a big Sinatra-esque dance number.
Yeah. And I love that this wasn't a duet for them. That it was just his. It was about what he needed for his life. It's not about her.
Yeah.
And he treats her very kindly, I think.
Yeah, he was honest and kind of blunt, but he didn't say it's your fault. He said, we are not good together. We are a mess together. He never made it her fault.
Mm-mm.
And like, looking at it like kind of objectively, like, yes, he is responsible too, but she was often the instigator and the one, like, it would not have been right for him to make it her fault, because they're two adults and they both make their decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But it would not have been like, it would have been understandable if he'd put it more on her. It would have been wrong, but he didn't. And that's really cool. I really like that.
Yeah, it's a common human thing to blame others, and not recognize our own culpability.
And it's also, even if it was more her than him, and that's, you can argue that back and forth, whatever, it also doesn't matter. Because what matters now is that we are a shit show, and this is what I need to do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, even if someone is at fault, sometimes that matters, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes what matters is just accepting the fact that this didn't work and moving on.
That's what boundaries are. They're not an attack on the person that's hearing them. They are just what is necessary for someone to be healthy in their life. It's about the person setting the boundary, not the person receiving the boundary.
Exactly. And a lot of people think it's like it's an ultimatum, and it's like it's not fair, but like, no, it's saying, hey, when you do this, it hurts me. So if you do this, I can't stay with you, for example. Or if you do this, I will not be able to join you in this event, or if this person is there, or whatever it is. And you're not telling them what to do. You're just saying, these are the consequences. This is what I will do to protect myself. Now you do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
And, you're giving someone all the information so they can make an informed decision. And you're doing what you have to do to protect yourself. And that's kind of important. And
It is.
unfortunately, something that gets trampled over, not communicated clearly.
Yeah.
And it's not only in romantic relationships, in platonic relationships, very often in familial relationships. Yeah, I could go on and on about this, but go, Greg.
So proud of Greg.
Yeah.
That was some good boundary setting.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some tea, doll.
Yay, Paula.
Oh, Paula taking care of her, even though she's going through all of her stuff.
And then Greg abandoned me?
Okay, that is not the situation.
Yes, it is. He left and he called our relationship feces.
A play about feces.
Yeah.
But you guys are not good for each other. He needed to move on, and good for him for taking that step.
Yes, Paula.
If he ever comes back, I'm just gonna be like, die.
Let it go. Let Greg go. Just let both of them go.
I don't know who I am without them.
Honey, be yourself.
What? Who? Who wants to be that? You don't know what it's like to be at a crossroads and not know what to do next.
I don't.
Paula.
That was rough to watch.
We just had dinner.
Babe, do we have stamps?
I don't know. Did you buy them?
Is that mustard?
Looks like it.
I got suspended. Not my fault. I was playing with my lighter and some kid got his book in my fire.
Oh, God, teenagers.
You, sure you want another baby? Our options, you know.
I'm a married mother of two. Okay, those options are for teenagers the month after winter formal.
You know who I think you should talk to? Rebecca.
Is the last person I want to tell. She's not gonna understand.
She is your best friend.
I don't want to burden her, recovering from not one, but two breakups.
There is some truth to being considerate of what somebody is going through and not wanting to burden them or whatever with putting your emotional support needs on them. I think that it is important to be wary of the load that people have and to be considerate of that. However, as a person who has been in a variety of life situations that objectively would be considered a bad time, like the loss of a family member or a very serious illness or something like that, and or major depression or whatever. And I will say that having friends call me and ask me for advice or just wanting some support to talk about something that's going on in their lives doesn't usually make me feel like I'm being burdened. It usually makes me feel valued as a community member and friend. And it usually helps me feel a little better. So maybe don't consider writing people off as support just because they're going through a hard time. Check in with them, see if like that would be okay, because it may end up that a conversation with you could be more beneficial than not talking to you at all, even if it's providing support to you.
I think a lot of that has to do, first of all, I agree. Absolutely. Like when my friends come to me, but it's also important to have that good base of communication, which so many people don't have. For our viewers who are familiar with the spoon theory, you can Google it, but in very, very brief, the idea is that we all have a certain amount of emotional spoons. And when certain things cost us spoons, take away our spoons, we have more spoons, less spoons, depending on the person, how they're doing, their mental health at the time, etc. But for, our more nerdy viewers, think of it as spell slots or your mana reserves. You only have so much to use, so much to give. So if, like in the case with my closest friends, we have a very good communication that I can say, hey, you're going through a rough time, you need someone to talk to. I'm sorry, right now, I don't have the spoons, the spell slots, the mental energy to help you right now, because I'm struggling so much. Check in with, either I'll contact you or check in with me in a day or two, and I'll give you the spoons I can, because I'll have recuperated some. I've literally also been like, someone's like, hey, can you talk right now? I said, hey, I have some spoons, so let's start, and I'll let you know if I'm running out. And I've literally like stopped my friends in the middle of a deep, difficult conversation, and said, hey, I'm sorry, I've hit my limit. And they're respectful of it. And they actually appreciate that, because they know they're never imposing on me, because I will set my own boundaries. Speaking of boundaries. So while I completely agree with with what you said, you're 100% correct that, it's you should be able to lean on your friends even if they're having a tough time. But with the case of like Rebecca and Paula, like Rebecca is just not a healthy person. She has not done the work that, for example, you and I have done in terms of learning to set boundaries, having any degree of self-awareness. So I personally would not feel comfortable going to someone like that, because I feel like Rebecca would either freak out, panic, and just make things worse, or find a way to make it about her.
Right.
So I understand where Paula's coming from, but also you're 100% correct that, like, in a good, healthy friendship, absolutely, your friends are there for you and you have boundaries and you communicate.
Yeah, I think if you are afraid to talk to a friend about something, that is something to be aware of and to examine. Where is that fear coming from? Is it coming from a pattern in that person's behavior, or is it coming from something, say, in your past that you're just sort of, now kind of wary about because somebody else did something? And it's good to recognize where those fears are coming from, because if it's a pattern of behavior on the part of the friend, that might be something to address, whether within yourself or with the friend. Boundaries.
Now, one of the most important things you need in a healthy relationship, and one of the things we are so not properly taught to create and enforce and protect and communicate.
Cleaning. That is a good way to spend your time.
Greg.
Oh, she's hallucinating.
That's not good.
I could never leave you.
And I'm here too.
We will never leave you, Rebecca.
Never.
Ghosts.
The way she said that was hilarious. Great. Ghosts.
We're memory spirits.
Pitched X-ray visions, but we're not named Ray, so.
X-ray.
We're poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
We're everywhere. This house is filled with memories of us.
We tap that ass all over this house. You'll never escape us, 'cause we live in your head. That bed is really uncomfortable.
Yeah, invest in a good bed, guys. If you can, get a good bed. Changes your life.
That's where we hit your back patio.
I love this
song. They could
so
dance. Much. Holy crap.
Well, let's estimate.
Oh no.
Average day, I would have to say 5, 6, 7, 8.
Too cheeky?
No, you're doing it wrong. I'll do it myself.
What's on tap?
It's me and my ass.
Ooh, sounds refreshing.
I really like that line.
I also tap that ass all over this house.
Oh God, him.
But where should we finish?
Please, not on my chest.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Love that song so much.
Oh my god.
It's one of the ones I'll just like sing around while I'm cleaning. Tap that ass.
So many puns. All of them dirty. And I love the fact that they made it a tap number. I mean, it's so obvious, but it's so perfect.
It's so good. I mean, I love puns, so.
Oh my god, me too. I just so many puns, and they're all awful. I love sex jokes. I love sex puns. Like, oh my god.
It just occurred to me that the last guest we had on the show, not for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, but for our bite-sized reaction, was the star of the movie Wordplay.
That's so
I was gonna
cool.
say I love wordplay, and then I was like, oh yeah, he's Tyler Hinman. He national crossword champion many times. He came on the show and did our last reaction with us.
That's so cool. I love crosswords. Oh,
But yeah,
so
love wordplay, love puns, love that song so much.
such a good song. Also, Josh and Greg, like Josh I haven't always been the most impressed with his songs, like with him as a singer. But him and Greg together sounded phenomenal. Like,
yeah. And they have great chemistry. I really enjoy them together.
Too bad for her. She never got to tap that simultaneously because, you know, the chemistry.
Well, she did get to spoon them both.
She did?
She had, well, in her mind.
Well, yeah, no, in her mind. Yeah. Well,
yeah. But I mean, like, we got to see it. I guess I was thinking like Rachel Bloom got to do it.
Right.
Goodbye, Josh.
What are you doing to Channy Bear?
No, don't.
Well, Gregorino.
No, don't. Is she lighting? Oh, no. Oh, God, you're so dumb, and I love you, but you're dumb.
It's not good. That's not good. Don't do it!
Oh, that is bad CGI fire.
Yeah.
That was terrible CGI fire. Heather! Whoa, she's got a really nice place. What the heck?
I'm pretty sure that's going to be explained in like 30 seconds.
Well, you could have burned down the whole complex.
Yeah.
Who are you? Heather, I thought you lived alone.
What? No, I live with my parents.
Searching database for facial recognition. Beep, beep. Matches not found.
What the hell? That wasn't cool.
Mr. and Mrs. Heather.
Davis. My last name's Davis. What's wrong with you?
And I make some mean pancakes, I tell you.
Oh, well, good. I am kind of hungry.
I was thinking more breakfast, but sure, what?
Oh my God, I love her parents.
He's so sweet.
Strawberry cat ears or blueberry smiles on those flapjacks.
Get out of my head, you angel. I'll take both.
I mean, yes, she's taking advantage of the hospitality of very kind people, but like...
911, what is your emergency?
Well, I was in a love triangle with two best friends named Josh and Greg, and they both were... My name is Rebecca Nora Bunch from West Covina. I'm in the backyard and I got poo on my shoes. Hurry.
It's okay, I'll go to your apartment and get your things. Memory spirits will not mess with Mama Paula.
Aw. Mama Paula. I want Mama Paula.
Hey, forget me, forget this. What's new with you?
Me? Nothing.
Are you sure? Because you seem a little, I don't know, distracted lately, and I want to be a good friend. Tell me I'm a good listener. I'm a good listener, so just tell me.
Okay. Yeah. So she's really not the one to talk to right now.
No.
Okay. Is everybody ready to get their douche on?
Oh, it's a douche company.
I like this actress.
Her?
Yeah, I can't remember her name. She's also in Jane the Virgin and some other things. I like her range.
honored that women entrust us with the care and cleanliness of their special parts.
I think we should just very quickly talk about the fact, and I will maybe let the AFAB person, who is not me, talk about it, but how do you feel about douches as a product?
Never used them.
Yeah. Well, in brief, for everything I've read, they're complete for the purpose of vaginal cleanliness. Just don't. They are awful and a problem. And no.
And my understanding is that they're largely a result of sexism and not actually good for you. But I'm not an expert on this, and
for our viewers who may or may not know more about it, ask your doctor before using one, I guess, is the advice I would give you.
Yeah, that sounds like good advice.
Yep. Let's just leave it at that. Ask your doctor before using one.
We think it could be the cornerstone of female empowerment.
Empowerment?
Oh, no.
Let alone all the anti-douching research funded by Big Vagina. No one will laugh at me. I mean us. Anymore.
I think it's a little personal for Miss Douche.
How does a person or a business completely change their entire identity so that everyone forgets what they were like before?
Her outfit is incredible. Details on it.
So the contestants send their photos to us on Instagram, the 5 with the most likes become the finalists, and then we pick the winner.
So in other words, she's making the models do all of the work and not paying people until it's relevant to them.
Hey!
Paid an exposure!
Love it. We usually don't get to talk about that much outside of the performance community, but it is a big issue.
Yep.
I need you to pull blueprints, file motions, set hearings.
I can't do those things. I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, but you basically are. I have a conflict of interest.
Oh.
Oh.
I need to become a douche. Miss Douche!
What? You don't need to enter a contest to revamp your image.
I accidentally, while I was looking for the name of the episode, I saw that what's her name is back. Josh's ex. Oh my god.
Valencia
is back in this episode. And now I see where she's gonna come in and be relevant.
You're trying to show me that I can go to law school and have a baby and that our lives can still work.
Exactly. See? I'm crushing it.
Aww.
Oh, I completely forgot to pick up Tommy. Shoot! Brendan, go get Tommy.
My license is suspended again.
Just go get him. Take the back roads.
Oh, no.
So I need a little practice in the domestic arts, but I'll get there.
He's trying so hard. I love it.
We cannot add a baby and law school to this. I have made a decision, and we need to stop talking about it. Let's eat around some chicken.
Aww.
I need to see where this goes because I love how hard Scott, right? I love how hard Scott is trying to be supportive. I love how their relationship has really evolved over the course of, barely over a season. And he seemed like the typical schlubby loser husband who leaves everything to his wife, and he kind of was at the beginning. But he, a minor secondary character, is having major growth. Most of it happening off screen, but we see enough of it that we can follow it still, especially in relation to Paula. I love it.
Yeah. It's really nice.
He's so supportive, and he's over his head, and he acknowledges. That's the other thing. He acknowledges the fact that he's in over his head, which is something you don't see a lot from men in this situation. They're like, "Yeah, I'm totally killing it. I got this. You can do whatever, babe." Because no, I'm in over my head, but I will get it so that you can do what you need to do. Yeah, and I love that.
Me too.
Everyone I've ever met is now texting me saying things like, Are you okay? I saw the video. I need to change the narrative.
Yes, how horrible that people check in on you.
So you want everyone to see you as a douche?
Honey, you're not being supportive.
I'm repeating what she said.
I love Heather.
Help me scope out the competition.
Oh no.
Okay, there's that girl.
She scrolled through the same girls twice. Like minor editing thing.
You had 5 years, a team of professionals and different DNA.
Honey, that's not nice.
I need what every girl needs after a breakups. A makeover! Cue the song.
Makeover, a makeover, a makeover.
No, Mom.
I love her mom.
Makeover. It's a makey makeover.
I don't know. I do like her eye makeup a lot and the cheerleader costume, but I don't like anything else about it.
I had a stroke. I had a stroke. I had a stroke.
I had a stroke. I mean, yeah, if this were the 70s, I guess. Right? Like, this is 70s, right?
Yeah, but that was what was popular at the time.
In 2013-ish?
17, 16? Yeah.
That's what was popular?
Mm-hmm.
2016, yeah. Huh. I missed those trends.
I mean, flares are back in now.
But the hair, she looks with the outfit, she looks like she's straight out of a Charlie's Angels thing with the hair in that particular outfit.
Yeah, I think that she's trying to hit the aesthetic of what was popular at that time, but the point is that she kind of doesn't quite get it.
Yeah.
She doesn't pull it off.
This isn't just about Josh and Greg. This is about feeling good about myself. I mean, I finally feel, Paula, like I've found the true, authentic me.
Authentic.
And it's not horsehair, it's dead people hair. So.
Ugh.
You sure you want more kids, Paula?
Having enough trouble with this one. Oh no.
Okay.
She's not even gonna recognize her.
No, Josh, it's me, it's Bex.
Oh. Wow. Look at you.
There are so many likes, so I couldn't tell if you were on there.
Oh, I haven't been online for a while.
Good for him.
Sometimes there's crazy stuff online that, you know, bums me out.
Good for him.
That is a good choice.
You know, I've been meaning to tell you, I wasn't screaming, Josh, Greg, Josh, Greg. That wasn't about you. That was about my good friend Josh Gregg, with whom I went to both Harvard and Yale.
Why is she saying this?
What 911 call?
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't hear about? No, it's not a
Costume. Yikes.
I'm sorry. You know, whatever you're going through right now, it'll get better. I promise.
Aw.
Okay, but it can't get better when it's already the best.
Aw. She's so not good.
Aw.
Like, Josh did a lot of things wrong, but that's because he was kind of immature, and he actually does seem to be making some attempt at growing. And Rebecca is not.
Bots pushed your likes over the edge. Dude, you made it into the finals.
Expensive bots. Oh no. Does anyone remember during Glee season 1, after like the first half of the season, it got like hella popular, and they held this online contest for like who could get the most, like you submit a video of you singing, who could get the most likes, and then the winner would like get a chance to be in season 2. So I put out a video, and I was one of the top like vote getters on the site because my friend made a bot. My friend, I mean, my video was doing okay, whatever, but my friend made an auto-click bot and generated and got me like 35,000 likes in like 2 days. And I'm like, dude, stop. It's so obvious, like what you're doing. He's like, no, I'm happy to do it. I'm like, no, don't, please. So yeah, I had bots help me once, against my will. But yeah, that was a thing that happened.
That's my guess is that that's what most people are doing, but
yeah,
it's good.
The fact that people you can like buy likes is like. Anyway, yes, internet culture commentary. Moving on.
No, it doesn't matter because I give up.
What? You can't give up. You put in all that stupid effort.
I made something for you with a special cookie cutter and lots of love.
Aww.
Rebecca, sweetie, you don't have to do anything you started.
Oh, okay.
She permanently damaged her appearance and she needs to see this thing through.
We still have all the musical instruments you only played for a week.
Okay, so the parents aren't the best. Like they're trying to be, but that one hits a little close to home.
Girl, get your hair glue and let's vámonos, which is the only word I know in Spanish because I only took it for a week.
I love Heather so
4
much.
years.
Nice.
Rebecca Bunch.
She does look good. I like the outfit. I don't like the hair, but I love the outfit.
An Ivy League education, a full-time career, and yet you still say you have time to be a mad, chill, SoCal sunsoaker.
Oh, God.
But we want to know more about the real you.
I don't know why, but their matching water bottles are very funny to me.
Who are you, Rebecca Bunch?
Who are you, Bunch?
Yeah, who are you, Bex?
Good morning, Your Honor.
You don't have to call me Your Honor. I'm a planning manager, not a judge.
Yes, Your Honor, sorry. I have submitted my client's plans for a facility in Pomona, which houses the lab and offices of 240 employees.
Miss Proctor, could you slow down? I understood every other word you just said.
Sorry, that is all. Sir.
You're not an attorney, are you? Then who are you, Miss Proctor?
Oh, they're both getting the who are you, the who am I.
Yes, we've asked you 3 times now.
That's great delivery.
I'm only here because of my friend Heather. She's right there. The truth is, I'm heartbroken. And I don't deserve to be Miss Douche. I don't. Like my friend Heather, she's like that, but I'm not.
So, who are you?
I'm a student.
I wanted to be one. I was even gonna go back to school. Yeah, but that's not gonna work out for me.
You did a great job. Better than most lawyers that appear before this board. Most of them just phoned it in. I'm going to grant your petition. Well done.
Yay, Paula!
If you ask me, you'd make a damn good attorney. Paula Proctor, Esquire. It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
That she so desperately deserves.
Yeah.
You participated. You should get some sort of certificate.
Oh, no.
If not a trophy.
That's a great idea, honey. We'll stop and get your ribbon on the way home.
Bring it in Heather's.
Oh. At least we still have Heather. She'll need us for the rest of her life.
Oh, God.
No, sorry. I'm moving out too. I am Miss Douche. I won 10 grand and a lifetime supply of walnut bark douches.
Honey, she won something.
Oh, is that even possible? I love you guys very much, but you reward failure, and that's why I still live at home. We have to start looking for a place to live. You need me really badly, but I don't have any credit, so you're gonna have to co-sign.
Mutually beneficial.
Honestly, I think that's not a bad idea for the two of them.
I was gonna make you dinner, but I figured you've been through enough today. So I'm ordering pizza.
Oh.
Mom, I'll get it since you just had an abortion.
You're a good son, Brendan.
I was like, she's resting up? Okay. I was like, are they gonna like hint at it or say it straight out? Okay.
I love you too, honey.
Mom, it's Rebecca.
Hi. Hi.
Her hair's back to normal, thank God.
Oh, thank God you're not blonde.
So Daryl said you called in sick. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Look, I know something's been up with you lately, and I want to know what it is. Really, I mean it this time.
You know, I had a thing. I figured it out.
No.
Oh, God, you seem so much better.
Yeah. You know, I realized that I was trying to change my outside instead of my inside. I know Josh and I shouldn't be together. And I know that Greg's in a better place.
Yeah, he went into the light.
Ghost Greg? Hey. You're still here. I need you to go.
I did. I got on a plane.
No. I mean imaginary you. I understand why you had to leave West Covina, and someday I will be happy for you. I need you to leave here. And here.
But I can stay with you. So when you see tacos or you watch the dog show, you'll think of me.
No, I don't want that anymore.
Are you sure?
Goodbye, Greg.
Goodbye, Greg.
But it has a bowling alley.
She needs Heather to keep her grounded.
I have so much fun, Romy. OMG, sorry, for a second, I thought that person housing that donut over there was Valencia.
What? No, Valencia would never eat it.
Oh my God, it's Valencia. Hi, Valencia.
Yay, Valencia!
Yay, Valencia, but she doesn't look like she's doing so good. Or maybe she's actually doing quite well because she's finally accepted that, you know, I need to see what they do with Valencia. Because she's such a great character.
Kind of feel like shoving a donut into your mouth is not objectively a sign of being in a great place.
Yeah. Like if she were sitting and having a coffee and a donut being comfortable, that would have been a good sign. But when she's sitting there looking upset and then turns and sees Rebecca and just kind of keeps eating it, that's shorthand for I'm not doing good. But I want her to do good because she didn't do like, yes, she has some issues, especially around her behavior with other women, and obviously the competitive feeling she has towards other women, literally in the case of the woman coming to steal her boyfriend.
Yeah.
But I want her to do well because I think overall, like, she's not a bad person. And there were certainly moments where she seemed like a genuinely good person. Like,
yeah. I think like some of the other West Covina characters, like Josh, and Heather, were sort of entering their lives it almost seems like at the end of an era for them, a sort of transition liminal space where they're growing out of their younger, earlier 20s selves and trying to figure out who they are as adults. And so we see a lot of progress on these characters in those realms, I think.
yeah, but we haven't seen that with Valencia. I also, it's not made clear, but it wouldn't surprise me because like they've been together since she and Josh were together since high school.
I think they even said maybe middle school.
Right. At least that they were together when Josh and Rachel were together at camp. Rebecca were together at camp. They were on a break.
Yeah, so they were together before that, and then more.
So the thing is, I don't know. I always thought Valencia was like maybe a year or two older than Josh and like dated him younger. Now it could be I'm wrong, and they don't really say their ages, but to me that headcanon sort of works a little bit, and that Valencia not old enough that she was taking advantage of him, because I don't believe that, but old enough that she sort of was always just a little bit more established than him, and because of that allowed him to sort of remain a little bit of a kid.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I always put them at as the same age.
I mean, you're probably right from the way they've described narratively, but in terms of their behavior and this way they sort of interact, on the other hand, like, maturity is just something that doesn't necessarily have to do just with age. So
yeah, and I think my experiences witnessing and being in heterosexual relationships, I feel like that dynamic is not uncommon.
100%. As
those specific genders.
Yes, as someone who has been in relationships where I definitely lagged behind in some of the maturity aspects, even when I was older sometimes. Yeah, I needed to grow the heck up. Because it's just not as much as expected of men in terms of relationships and maintaining, and for 100%.
Yeah,
so yeah, no, you're probably right in that reading more so, and I'm just sort of, I see her being more mature and the way she carries herself, and that's less about age and more about expectations, and again, a lot of it comes back to the patriarchy, and
Yeah. My view of Valencia, maybe I'll wait until we get into the next episode since we're going to be seeing her a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I love the music. The two major songs were both fantastic. Like two of the like if you combine like all the songs in an episode and like say like the level of music in an episode, this definitely has one of the best like levels so far. Like I just love the songs. And even the cheerleader, makeover one was incredibly dumb and silly, but also weirdly entertaining, as short and like silly as it was.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that Heather won, even though it didn't really make sense. Like she didn't enter, and
yeah.
Also, like if
hole bothers me.
If I were in that contest, I would if I was one of the finalists, I would sue.
Yeah, absolutely. You would be allowed to also if there were rules that were not
because you signed it, you signed up, false pretense. It sort of reminds me, there's an episode of Bob's Burgers. I don't know if you're familiar with the show.
I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen a bit.
So I believe it's in season 9 where the boys for now, Boo Boo left them, and then in a previous season, and now they're only 3, and they're holding tryouts for a 4th boy for now because there has to be 4 boys and boys for now. And so there are hundreds of boys all convening for the audition. At the very end, when they reveal the winner, it's Boo Boo. He's back. In other words, it was just a massive publicity stunt, and they had no intention of giving it to any of the boys who showed up to audition.
Right.
And if I were a parent of one of the boys who auditioned, I'd be like, you're going to pay me for my day, or we're going to file a class action suit or something. Because now that's a silly cartoon. And to be perfectly honest, so is this. I mean, I believe that there are such things as live action cartoons, where it's a show that is so ridiculous and silly, it might as well be a cartoon. Malcolm in the Middle is a perfect example of a live action cartoon.
I also think, or Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, okay.
Which I am a big fan of the series of, by the way. For those who aren't aware of why anyone would be a fan of this series, you have to start at movie 5. Just ignore the others. Start at 5, because that's when they realize that they are ridiculous and lean into that hard. Okay. And then every subsequent movie is an attempt to be more ridiculous than the one that came before it.
I've only seen the first one, and not even all of it, because I can't tell you where I was or when or why, but I was in a hotel and it was on a cable channel in the hotel. But so yeah, that's the only time I watched it. And it was a grounded crime thriller that was basically Point Break, but with cars.
Maybe we can do that as a reaction series at some point, because it's so silly.
Well, I was entirely wrong about Valencia's appearance in this episode. I thought it was going to be something to do with Miss Douche, and she was going to be the surprise winner, but no, she's just back in town and not doing great, it seems. And that makes me sad.
Not what you were expecting?
No. Oh, I hope she's okay. I mean, I know she's a TV character, but I hope she's okay.
So this was season 2, episode 2?
This is season 2, episode 4.
Oh, thank you. Season 2, episode 4. When will Josh and his friend leave me alone?
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, can't wait. I need to see what happens with Valencia.
Yay, Valencia. Bye.